Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. We are back on another edition of QTV this morning here on QTV, The Gambia. We are broadcasting from our studios on Karaba Avenue. And of course, how was your weekend? You know, I have had a good weekend. I enjoyed my weekend. Weekends are the only time where people are free sometimes to go out, meet friends and family, or chill, go visit loved ones and relatives as well. So we make good use of the weekend. The weekend starts on Friday evening, Saturday through Sunday. And it's Monday, we are back fresh and clean. We hope and pray by the end of this morning, you will learn a lot from us, and we will also get to learn a lot from you people. And on the platform, I'm joined by Momodu Lamin Choi. Choi is a senior journalist at QTV, and everybody knows what he does. Choi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Balde. It's a pleasure to join you today. For the first time, I am joining this morning program as a co-host. Thank you, and I hope I extend my greetings to the viewers and our guest here today, who is usually in this position, but today I'll be pretending to be Mboj.
All right, thank you very much, Momodu Lamin Choi. And our newspaper review guest is no other but the usual face that you know. That's Mr. Momodu Mboj. Mr. Mboj, good morning.
Good morning, man. Cheers.
How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Well, I enjoy it because yesterday I spent it with my boys.
Oh, okay, the boys, how are they doing?
I went to the beach and it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Nice,
really.
Nice, great. Well, it's very important here on QTV. You are watching QTV this morning, and we've already shared our weekend vibes with you. So, how was your weekend? And you can send on our Facebook page and share with us how you spend your weekend. Now let's head straight to the African code, and I'll give Momodu Lamin Choi the honor. To read that for us, Choi.
Yeah. The African proverb for this morning today is, beggars will not lick a bleeding hand.
Yeah.
They will lick a hand covered in palm oil. Somebody is laughing over there.
Mr. Mboj, reatinga de. Tesore rek.
I have to be honest with you guys.
Ray Magla.
I haven't the foggiest idea what this is all about. So I'll give you the honor, Balde.
No, as Choi will give you the honor for you to tell us
at least to begin.
Yes, at least
to get the ball
begin
rolling.
with your own interpretation to why beggars prefer licking hand with palm oil than bleeding. Wow.
My understanding, I think there's this English proverb, beggars cannot be choosers. Of course, they don't choose what they should be given. They should not. That is, in many cases, how it should be. I think what I understand by this is, looking at the colors, palm oil
and blood, really bleeding hand.
Yeah, bleeding hand. So, even though they are poor, they are in a very difficult situation, but they have preference. They have preference, and, which is, something that is worth noting here. They are poor, but they can, they also know what they want. And what they want, in most cases is, what is positive and what can help change their lives. So this is my understanding of what this proverb is talking about.
Can you read out the proverb again?
Yes, beggars will not lick a bleeding hand. Yes. They will lick a hand covered in palm oil.
Absolutely.
Well, when begging, you must have, I totally disagree with the proverb that said, no, not this one.
Why don't you come up with your own
with the proverb that said, beggars have no choice.
No.
There is another one.
The phrase is, beggars cannot be choosers. That's the English
cannot
phrase.
Be choosers.
Yes, but, people, yeah, you know,
But
there's this
indeed
common error.
They
yes,
do choose.
They do. Yes,
They
yes.
have a preference, as you
yes,
said.
Yes,
You're right.
yes.
Well, it depends. I mean, to lick a bleeding hand is very difficult. It's telling you how difficult the situation is. It's telling you sometimes you tend to choose situations that are easier to achieve than the difficult one.
Yes.
You know, when you
Of
have
course.
2 options, choose the simple one, you know, than taking the complex one. So it's telling you, in fact, that's human nature, than going by something difficult or something hard, than choosing, you have to choose the simple one. If they place, you know, 2 formulas here, and they ask you to choose one, you will definitely go in for the one that is as easy as 1 + 1. So, I mean, choosing but the right thing at the same time too, doing the right decision, you know. So that's
So
why
it's
only-
irrespective of how difficult the situation is, how difficult it is. They are poor, they are struggling, you know, and they want to make ends meet. They wouldn't lick a bleeding hand. But, you know, in that, you know, no
So
matter
they
how
have a
difficult the situation
preference.
is, they have a preference. Yes.
And you, Bala, it seems as if your definition is about going for the easier option.
for the easier option and the right, easier and right option.
See, now that's
Wow.
interesting combination there. Sometimes the easier option, I do not know, may not necessarily be the right one.
Yes, yes.
You know, it
yes.
might look convenient that this is what I want to do and the like, but perhaps in the longer term, you'll possibly live to regret having made that. So easier, right? If you can get the combination, you know, you might be lucky.
Easy
But
and the right
yeah,
option.
yeah. You see, usually you find that in life, the choices we have, they can be quite difficult. Sometimes you have to take some very difficult decisions. You know, really. Some people might say that even sometimes you might need to lick a bleeding hand.
Bleeding hand. Yes, 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 yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what is on my mind right now.
Yeah, sometimes you might need to lick a bleeding hand.
No, but it's
the right thing to do.
exactly. Yeah, but at some point it's telling you beggars will associate themselves with the rich. You understand? The wealthy. You know, palm oil being something very valuable, something that most people, you know, take as a very good thing to eat. So I think
bleeding hand could be troubled.
palm
Palm
oil represent someone that can help the beggar. So the beggar, they know where to go, they know who to beg, and where to beg as well. So that's my interpretation.
That's the other one.
That's the other one.
You've added another one.
Yes.
So I think you've got 3 now.
Wow.
Well done, gentlemen.
Wow. So, you know, this week you people have to be very cautious because the proverbs that I'll be bringing on this program will really be hitting our heads. Yes. So that's it, Mr. Mboch. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then the newspaper, we have some headlines here. We'll be right back after the break.
Qcell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. Qcell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Sinupus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Sori Balde. Now let's take a look at news headlines on the Foroyaa newspaper. And of course, we have an information over the weekend, the passing of a Foroyaa newspaper regional correspondent in Basse. And, you know, a very sad incident, a very sad news. I've seen many people took to social media and, you know, sending their heartfelt condolence to the family. You know, it's important to recognize and send respect to people who played certain rules. You know, we all know the rules that journalists play when it comes to nation building. So someone who played at least a quarter, it's important for you to recognize that individual, you know, at least for a day or two.
Absolutely. You know, he's someone who worked very hard. You know, he's someone who has been recognized. I don't know him in person, but I've had a lot of positive stories, you know, about his hard work, his dedication, and his service to this country through the journalism field. And I think that is worth noting because, you know, in this day and age, people need information. People, you know, need to be well informed about developments happening in the country and beyond. So there are people behind, you know, behind the pens, you know, of course, who work very hard to deliver these stories. So there has been a lot of sacrifice that he made in dispensing, you know, his duties and responsibilities as a journalist, which has been widely recognized, and I think that is quite positive, you know, of commending him, and we pray that his soul rest in peace, you know, inshallah, yes.
Absolutely. When such things happen, of course, you mourn the sadness, but again, you celebrate the achievement.
Achievements, yes.
That he achieved here in life, and that will be perhaps the fitting memory for this sort of thing. So obviously, our condolences will go to the family and all the positive stuff that they left behind. You cherish that by living a similar life yourself.
Exactly. I mean, in a week, we'll say, Tobaski, welcome. And, you know, everybody is looking forward to Eid al-Adha. And it's a moment where many people travel back home. Those in Europe, America, and other parts of the world will travel back home. When you look at the financial turnover, the monies that we acquire when it comes to this feast, it's also very important for the nation. Now, we have seen it's the time of buying ram. You know, many people are busy to acquire, to get one. You know, sometimes people talk about the prices. Some people talk about the exchange rate of the CFA, you know, comparing it to the Dalasi. Mr. Mboch, you know, comparing the CFA and the Dalasi, it's becoming a big thing, a big issue.
Why should it be a big issue? There will always be exchange rates because we've got two different currencies. So let's get that out of the way. Yeah, and people will go and buy what is cheaper. It's just very simple. There's no magic to it. Wherever it's cheaper, people, that's where they're going to buy from.
True.
So I'm not sure what exactly the issue is. If you know what I mean. I'm not sure what the issue is, Mr. Baldan. Maybe
we have options.
That's it.
You understand? The thing that I'm trying to put through is, you know, when these feasts are approaching, that's the time when things skyrocket. Prices skyrocket.
Demand and supply. The demand goes up,
yes.
doesn't it?
I think last week, you know, I saw a piece of information coming out regarding government's, you know, measures, and some of these measures include waiving duties and taxes on livestock, you know, just to ease.
For the Tobaski.
Yes, for the Tobaski period. You know, how do you think this can filter down on the, you know, on the consumers, on the buyers, when it comes to cost of these, you know, livestock, especially sheep?
But this is it. Ordinarily, when you waive these tariffs and the like, then that means that for me to give you my product, it's cheaper to maintain my product, then it will be cheaper to sell. But is it necessarily reflecting in the prices? This will be very interesting to note factually what's going on out there. Because with those waivers, government would expect that would reflect in the price. It should bring the prices down. But is that actually happening? You see, for me, this is the key, and this is a factual point. We need to know, how do we know? Maybe compared to last year or year before, and looking at the prices. I was actually asking somebody, you know, who normally every year goes and buys sheep and bring it over. I said, how do you compare prices? Of course, taking inflation into account from last year to this year, more or less the same way. It has gone slightly up. Prices have gone slightly up, higher. So we will need to get the factual survey really to know what is really going on. But really, it should have a reflection on the price.
I mean,
it should be cheaper.
There is a solution. You know, when I engaged the Small Ruminant Project, I mean, they were here, I think, sometime last week. We had a lengthy conversation on how to help and, you know, increase the production of small ruminants and also reduce cost when it comes to fish like this. You know, according to them, you know, there should be funds that should be injected when it comes to farmers, giving them loans. I think currently they are doing that, I mean, to be able to empower farmers to be able to get these small ruminants so that they will be able to serve the nation. But interestingly, they said they do not have that according to the capacity at the moment, you know. You know, those things should be looked into. But I think when small ruminant farmers are empowered, they would be able to serve the nation well.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
Yes.
When you say funds, from where? Is it that they're going to go get loans from banks?
From the banks.
Or do you want government to be giving them?
Well,
too much of subsidy. That's not good economics.
There is an institution.
You don't subsidize too much.
There is an institution providing these funds for them. I didn't want to mention the name of the institution, but there is a particular institution that is giving them these funds so that they can inject it into the small ruminant farming.
So when you say giving these funds, would they have to pay it back?
They have to pay it back with interest.
Absolutely. So would they? What is the rate of return? You know, people who take loans and come back and pay. You know what I mean? So it's a complicated area. Yes, businesses must have access to finance. That much we all know, really. But again, in our situation, there are many conditions. When you take, for instance, how much do they pay interest rates? Very high.
It's high, yeah.
It's really very difficult for businesses. Really.
Yeah, we heard from the president at some point talking about his government's plan to introduce an agriculture development bank, to help farmers access loan. Of course, maybe the interest rate, from that bank might be lower than the conventional, banks we have in the country here. Earlier, you talk about, I asked you a question about the measures government, have introduced to help, in the cost of livestock, and you talk about monitoring, government monitoring. Even when they monitor, for instance, when they monitor and realize that the policy decision or the measures that they have introduced have not reflected on the prices, how could they remedy the situation?
No. You can't. You cannot force anything unless do you want to introduce price control. You can't.
Yeah, that's the problem.
See, this is really what governments need to do. So you have to leave the market to be as it is. Maybe the danger is sometimes you have all of these sheep, but maybe you have a few people really controlling it. That is the danger when you have a cabal running things, as it were. You have a few people controlling it, then they can collude to fix the price. Wherever you have a genuine free market, price, because they will compete, prices should go down. So I think we have certain distortions in our market. You have a few who can come together, fix things behind the scenes and the like. But where you genuinely have a free market, each agent, many agents, each, following his own interests, that's all. Then you see that you will compete, the prices should go down.
Yes.
I am not sure whether...
Yes. Looking at the free, market, economy that we are in right now, and, the measures, one of the measures that government, have introduced to reduce the cost, how do we, what policy decisions, or how could government, overcome, how could government, help the consumers in terms of boosting, the production, of livestock, in the country here. What actions can government, introduce to ensure that we have enough livestock, in the country, and also, the prices of this livestock also would be, somewhat affordable to the consumers?
That can never be. What government can do, what government should be for, is to give the rules, the laws, create the level playing field, create the level playing field for private sector, for individuals to go and do what they need to do. The market will determine a lot of things, unless, of course, you want to introduce the idea of price control. It's only by price control you can really say that this is how you're going to set prices. But we know that that's really bad economics. Most places, they don't really have price control. So the only thing government can do is try to create the conditions where you will have genuine competition. Genuine competition will drive down the prices. It is really when you don't have true competition, when the market is distorted, that's when you have people controlling things. That's why you have antitrust laws, for instance, in the U.S.
So for
you don't want cartels. You don't want cartels.
Yes, for you, what is a genuine competition? Explain to our viewers what genuine competition would mean in free economy.
Well, you don't have any cartels. You have each agent, doing his own thing. You have many agents.
Free playing ground.
Absolutely. You have the laws and you have the regulatory body. So in any
regulatory body.
Yes, in a capitalism, you need the regulatory body because there are rules. Each must follow the rules. That's how you create a level playing field. Without laws, you can never have a level playing field. The powerful will eat the small ones.
At some point,
so you must have that.
As much as it's going to be a free market, it's going to be a free leveling field for people to play, but still, like you mentioned, there should be rules.
That's it. So,
except if the rules will come into place when they want to take it to the extreme.
Let us be careful here. Sometimes when people say freedom, or we just use free there, it tends to give the impression that you can just do anything. Actually, self-control is really at the very heart of what freedom means. For all of us to enjoy freedom, I have to control myself. I'm not going to interfere with your rights. So, in a paradoxical way, freedom means control. It doesn't mean if I can do anything, I'm being anarchic. That's not freedom. That's anarchism. That's lawlessness. That's absolutely chaos. So in any free market, you have the regulatory bodies, strong regulatory bodies. That's what makes the difference. You must follow rules and regulations, really, for it to be free. Otherwise, the powerful will gobble up the weak.
So wouldn't those rules and regulations defeat the purpose of, free market economy?
No, it defines it. It gives it order. It makes sense. without the regulations, without the regulations, then might is right. What kind of life do you want? Anybody can do whatever, then God have mercy for the smaller people. It's only law that gives us equality. Not in nature. Not in nature. It's law that gives us that. So absolutely, it is freedom, the rules, that sort of makes sense, if you know what I mean, for it to be workable. Otherwise, there'll be chaos.
All right, let's move on to another topic. Very interesting. When you talk about economy, you talk about trade, you talk about expenditure, those are very interesting things to deal with because it has to do with you, the human being. It has to do with your survival. So, very interesting. Are you not surprised? Gambia won 5-1. Gambia defeated Seychelles 5-1.
Seychelles.
Yes, exactly.
So, should have been more.
But, it's a good start for the coach.
Absolutely.
It's a perfect start for the coach, Mr. Boj. We were confident we were going to win the match, but not to that level. I was surprised when I heard 5-1. I was searching where I can watch the game online. But after I realized Gambia won 5-1, I was really...
I think our coach is experienced enough to know that against the Seychelles, that was hardly a test, really. So we'll wait till against Gabon.
Gabon, yes.
Then we see how it goes. The Seychelles, oh God. They're not a footballing nation, not a rising one. They're a very small island. Is it off the Indian Ocean or something? No, I wasn't surprised at all. I knew that we were going to thrash them.
Mr. Mboj, I disagree.
I knew that we were going to thrash them.
No, I disagree. As much as I want Gambia to win the game, now football doesn't come with the size of the nation.
Well,
remember,
a
year or two, Gambia went to the quarterfinals of the AFCON. So they would have said as small as Gambia, but we were surprised to see Gambia.
It wasn't a footballing nation. Nobody knows football at all, really. So most people who follow football, the pundits, will know that this is really hardly a test.
Yes,
people will think that. People who know, maybe people who do not know, woo, fine. But people who know, this was hardly a test. Maybe about Gabon, it will be more interesting. With our new coach.
I didn't watch the game, but I was following the developments, the goals and all of that, and I was very happy. And people I was with then talked about, how happy they were, and they were very overexcited and also over ambitious, talking about the fact that it's a good team and we are ready to, to face any team, and the results will be in our favor. One of them even said, give us Senegal and we will beat them. I said, it's too early. This is, Seychelles, it's not a very good team. One of my colleagues predicted that we could score up to 8 goals, and it happened that, we got 5 goals. So I'm not surprised, as Mr. Mboj has highlighted. We'll wait until we meet Gabon, and then we see what comes out of it. That will determine, the resilience, of our team on the pitch.
Yes, and it's a bit too early to see the McKinstry effect.
McKinstry, yes.
It's
too
you know
early.
what I mean?
It's too
so
early
we
to...
will see what that will look like.
Let's see. I mean, when you talk about the team they played against, I understand it's a small team, small nation, but I wasn't taking them for granted as well, because the person you take for granted might be the person to bury you.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about our infrastructure when it comes to football, and other extracurricular activities. It's high time, we see how best to get a better stadium or put our stadium to standard, to FIFA level. Because playing away games, can be very stressful and can be very, costly as well.
Even playing home games away.
It's
an extraordinary situation, really, when you think about it. What a shame, really. We had to wait for this, had to be banned. We allowed things to generate to the degree that we don't have FIFA approval to host our home games. Can you imagine? So when are we gonna get the job done? I understand that they've been doing a lot of work. God knows when they're gonna have the next inspection, the approval process, what's gonna happen. But it's awful that your home games, you cannot play them at home, because it matters when you have the fans. And I've heard players complain about this.
Home
really.
support.
Absolutely, because both teams, imagine we go and play in Morocco, we play Gabon in Morocco. It's not their home fans wouldn't be there, our fans will not be there. So for both teams, it will be dreadful. Very few people, can you imagine? You can never generate that atmosphere. There's really home advantage, if you know what I mean, But look at us, we don't have
I am
that.
pretty sure if this Seychelles game was home, we played it in the Gambia, we would have taken them to 10-0. I'm telling you, I mean...
Well, at least give them one consolation,
with
10-1
with home support, But now we are very confident. We have youngsters in our team, who are very experienced. They're playing for other teams as well. We've also seen the change of certain fixture as well. So I believe we would be able to make it, and I hope and pray we pass to the World Cup stage.
Yes, and when you said youngsters, and then you add experience to it, they're not quite experienced, but
the reason why
exposed.
The reason I
Because
said
of they're
that,
playing all
Yes.
over the
Yes.
world. The last time I checked, we've got players from Giraffe to Senegal to Canada. They're all over the place. Bulgaria. I thought,
Bulgaria,
man, I couldn't believe it. So absolutely.
All over.
All over the place. So now the challenge for the coach is to bring all of these personalities and create a team. The idea of a team is really a very, very difficult dynamic to create. You know
It
what I
looks
mean?
easy.
It looks easy.
Looks easy.
But it's frightfully difficult. How do you get the right balance in a footballing sense then to make that team a winning team? So that's the challenge for him.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mboj. Thank you very much for reviewing the stories with us, and I hope and pray we'll do this again tomorrow. Mine electing a new day.
And this try to turn me into a kind of policy or the defender of capitalism. He is the defender of socialism. I'm telling you, he's a socialist, this guy.
I was listening to your conversation.
He's a socialist, I know. I knew where he was headed. I knew where he was headed.
All right, so thank you very much. We'll take a short break. After the break, then we will take the second segment of the program, Global Fund.
The Global Fund.
Yes, the Global Fund. They signed a grant with the Minister of Health. We will be talking about it. So we'll be right back after the break.
Never before in the Gambia, QCell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate QCell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your QCell SIM cards activated today at the foreign care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bursubi Turntable, Bakau Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with QCell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with QCell. For more information, call QCell Customer Care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think Free Night Browsing. QCell's Free Night Browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunyubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. We are back again. And now let's move to the second segment of the program. The Global Fund signed a grant with the Ministry of Health. You know, it's important for us to deal with this. It's a story that, came last week on QTV.
Yes, I've been covering.
Exactly. So yes.
It's
important for us to engage them on this. And we have Mrs. Alimatu Jallow, you know, Ministry of Health under the National AIDS Secretariat. Good morning, Mrs. Jallow.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
Nice.
We'd like you to take us through, this signing ceremony between the Global Fund and the Ministry of Health.
Thank you, Ibrahima. Good morning, distinguished viewers. Like he rightly said, my name is Halimatu Jallow Jesorobo, and I work with the National AIDS Secretariat as a care and support officer. Now, the Gambia, led by the Gambia government and with the country coordinating mechanism and with the requisite principal recipients, were able to successfully negotiate the grant cycle 7 in October, and we were able to get it successfully. And the cycle started in January, actually, and we have been working with our partners through the government and the presidency to be able to have a launching in the Gambia. And there was a high-level delegation from the Global Fund mission that came into the country last week, and they've been meeting the presidency and the Ministry of Health, and I've gone around to see some of the projects. And the planned launching is planned for tomorrow at Kairaba Hotel, and we are expecting the presidency to grace the occasion because this is a great achievement for the country. Global Fund is here to help countries fight against HIV, TB, and malaria grant. And all these three disease areas had a successful negotiation, and we had this grant accomplished. And the grant is supposed to take 3 years, starting from January, ending December 2026, by God's grace.
Sure.
Yes, if you over the past 2 decades. Of course, Global Fund's intervention started in 2002, and since then they have invested hugely, in Gambia's health sector. Of course, one of the biggest funders of Gambia's health sector, and the total investment amounting to more than $270 million US, and this grant support coming in. You have been on the ground. Over $270 million US, is huge money in terms of investment. I wonder what have been the impact. How has such an investment impacted our health sector, especially in the fight against these 3 critical diseases, killer diseases, malaria, AIDS, and TB?
Thank you for that question. For me, I think there is a great positive impact when it comes to the investment of Global Fund in this country, in the disease area, 3 disease areas you have said, because the main aim of the Global Fund is to strengthen countries to be able to eradicate or contain diseases that are of public health related. And key are HIV, TB, and malaria. And over the years, like you said, over the past 2 decades or more, Global Fund have invested, because we are aware that they are the sole donor, most of the donor, that is supporting the country. And there's a great impact because, number one, it has helped us to be able to cope the diseases, HIV, TB, malaria. If we are talking about eradication of malaria in this country, most of the funds are coming from Global Fund. With the support of the government, and also if you see that under the HIV epidemic up to now, we have a low prevalence in the general population, is 1.9% up to now since the start of the grant. Notwithstanding, with the intervention that the grant funds are giving us, we have been able to maintain or reduce that prevalence. For example, the Gambia have never gone beyond 2.5% prevalence for HIV since the inception when we started the HARP project in 2002, which is an achievement. And it has also, the Global Fund has also helped us to be able to contain also, not to allow the prevalence to go higher. And because the research has shown that in this country, we have some certain particular key groups, vulnerable groups that are having high prevalence. And the interventions to the Global Fund have enabled us to contain the disease there so that it will not spread into the general population. And then overall, we have also seen that generally, the Global Fund have strengthened the health system in terms of capacity, whether it's human resource or material resource or equipment-wise or infrastructure. There have been a lot of good impact or positive impact that the country have benefited. So really Global Fund is a very big partner that have really brought positive change to the entire health system. And we're saying through the government and through all the implemented partners, we are saying a good big thank you to them for continue to support the country. And also we acknowledge the government because it is through their leadership that they have we've been able to successfully been able to negotiate the grant and get it together.
How long is the duration of the grant?
This current grant is 3 years.
3 years.
It started January and is expected to end in December 2026.
So you talked about the fact that cases of these 3 diseases have dropped. Give us the situation, the previous situation before the intervention of the Global Fund. How was the situation like when it comes to the prevalence, cases relating to these 3 diseases? How was the situation?
I may not have statistics for malaria because I'm not too familiar with the malaria program.
For example, the
but I know that there have been a drastic reduction in malaria cases. I think there is a point where they're even talking about elimination.
Elimination, yeah,
which,
at the elimination phase. Yeah.
Yes, which is a great achievement for the country. And then for the HIV program, the highest prevalence I can remember in this country is 2.1%. And that's been a while. If I'm correct, that was in 2008. Since then, it has dropped and is fluctuating from the sentinel surveillance we do. It's dropping from, it's between 1.9 to 1.5. And the DHS 2013 indicated that it's 1.9 prevalence in the general population. And then we since that we have not seen a surge going upward. So like I said, for me, that is a big achievement. And also when you look at the vulnerable population, there was a time that the prevalence went up to 36% in the prevalence of some of the vulnerable group. And we have seen it steadily, slowly, coming down, containing it to around 35%. And so that is also an achievement. And we also saw in the other group that was about 11% coming down to 9%. So these are all achievements that we can attest. And when you come also about for the pregnant women, also targeting, we now working towards, for example, elimination, not only prevention. We do not want any child to be born of HIV in this country, even if their parents are HIV. So these are all targets, these are all new things that we have, achievement that we have seen, and we want to maintain them or sustain them and go in for elimination phase where we do not want to see any new HIV new infection. Those that are already infected, we care for them. And then we have seen also a surge in also ensuring that many are on treatment, because currently the country is doing the test and treat policy, where anyone who is diagnosed of HIV, you are put on treatment for life. And we are working on that treatment cascade and retention cascade to ensure that everyone remains virally suppressed, and also those that are not infected, because those are the window of opportunity. Most of our people in the Gambia are HIV negative, and we want to maintain it like that, so that we will not be able to have, epidemiologic control. That is the aim of the grant.
Yes. So what are some of the expected outcome of this grant, or the impact of the grant at the end of the day?
Yes. Before you come to that, tell us the focus of this new grant initiative. what are the areas of intervention? Is it the usual area of interventions, for example, malaria, TB, and HIV/AIDS, or do we have new areas of focus, in terms of this new grant, and what are the expected outcomes?
Thank you. Actually, this grant is a continuation phase. We want to maintain or sustain the gains we have made, but we also want to accelerate because notwithstanding, we still have some gaps. For example, Gambia is a signatory, or we are part of the global fora where the target is 95% of people who know their HIV, who are HIV positive should know their HIV status. That is the first 95. And Gambia estimated, the spectrum is saying that the estimated target of people living with HIV is about 28,000. But as we speak, we've got less than 10,000 of them knowing their target. So that's a gap. So our intervention, this grant, we want to focus, like having targeted intervention to ensure that everyone is taken on board, no one is left behind, and the slogan is let the communities lead. We want everyone to know their HIV status so that half of the population that is out there that do not know, and we know that they are out there, they can be tested to know their HIV status. How are we going to do that? We want to target people wherever, because one thing we have realized, Gambians don't want to come to do health service delivery. It's only the women that are coming, and even the women is the health-seeking behavior that makes them come, because they get pregnant, they deliver, they take care of the sick ones, and they take everyone. So they are always, most of the time, in contact with the health sector. And that is why usually, mostly, they are the first one to be diagnosed. But men are left behind. They hardly come to the clinic, except if they are very, very sick. Children also are being missed out. Adolescents are being missed out because they hardly visit. So we are saying if they are not visiting the health facilities, we should be able to go and get them, because we believe that that is where the infection is, and we want to get them out. And Gambia have not been doing very well in children in general. So we want to target the children in their outpatient and when they go for immunizations. And then we want to also use entry point. We go to where men sit and gather. We talk to them so that they will be able to come. We also want to see, do index testing. Index meaning if you first diagnose me, through me you can get my family, because we believe that those are the innovative ways that we can do to be able to get people tested. And once you turn HIV positive, we offer you the treatment, because research has shown that if you start the HIV treatment for 6 months, you are virally suppressed, and if you are virally suppressed, you will hardly transmit the HIV, and that is the only way we can get the epidemic control.
There was a time the National AIDS Secretariat, they were very active when it comes to sensitizing people about HIV, know your status. But recently we've seen that level have gone down. So, I mean, do you have any plans, to use maybe media houses again to start to come up with strategies to sensitize people? Because you have to keep telling people about this all the time.
Thank you, Ibrahim. You are right. We just saying that up to now we are sensitizing. It's just that maybe now we're taking a different option. And there was a time we felt that the Gambian populace did not know much about HIV, and there was a lot of sensitization going on to know what is HIV, how do you get it, how we prevent, where the service is available. It came to a point that we realized that most Gambians knew. And then we take another approach. It's not that we are not doing sensitization, but we are doing sensitization at the grassroots level, because we believe that HIV has to do with your sex and sexuality, and sex and sexuality in this country is highly stigmatized, and people do not want to discuss it. So coming on the television here talking, people will listen but will not hardly change behavior. So we are doing more of behavioral change now, going into the grassroots. Our co-PR, which is Action Aid International, the Gambia, is they are the one doing the prevention arm, and they are working with the communities to ensure that they go there and talk to the communities directly at the grassroots to ensure. But notwithstanding also, the Global Fund now with funding, what they are saying is they are complementing government effort. What are we doing as a country to be able to also contain or ensure that we have sustainable funding in the country? And one way is to see how best we can be able to integrate sensitization or going out to the public, not only waiting for funding. For example, a forum like this where you have media house calling in, what is your social responsibility in giving back to the community, so that everywhere, wherever we go, when it comes to health issues, we should be able to integrate, and these things will continue, not only depending truly on donor funding, because currently internationally we have seen donor fatigue, and there are competing priorities, and currently the priority is in treatment. So it's not that we have neglected the sensitization, it's just that we took another innovation which say go out to the people that are affected and talk to them, and we believe that it's the communities that are affected, so we would go down to the grassroots and talk to individual families and head of communities, and not to be able to appreciate that HIV is like any other medical conditions, and it is a sexual transmitted infection, and let them go out there and do their
so
test.
have we been testing enough, given the fact that you've shared statistics here, over 20,000 HIV cases suspected to be in the country or have been confirmed, but only 10,000 or so are going under treatment. Have we been testing enough to get the numbers that we require when it comes to the treatment plan?
As a country, no. Like I said, HIV is one of the diseases that the policy is saying whatever you are doing is with informed consent, meaning you need to give the client the information and allow the person to make the informed choice, either to test or not to test. So it is their choice. And in the facilities, we are seeing that many people come into the facility, but hardly do they ask. The voluntary bit of it, saying that today I am here, I want to do HIV testing. That is very, very low in the country. The contributing factor is the stigma and discrimination and the low prevalence. Most of us do not know our HIV status, therefore we stigmatize and we assume that HIV is a killer disease or a big disease. They don't want to be associated. The other thing is that because of the early information that went out of HIV saying that whoever had HIV, you are a bad person, for example, nobody wants to assist. So because of those reasons, many people are reluctant to come. So now what we are saying is healthcare workers have been reoriented to say, if you come into the hospital to seek for services, whatever service it is, please add, there's HIV service, would you like to test? That if we can, we have started seeing healthcare workers doing that in some of the facilities, but generally, like you said, the uptake is low. When we introduce HIV services, many people will accept. But then the health system also have its own other challenges in terms of human resource. And the staff are saying that the work is too much to add also HIV counseling and testing, which is demanding. And that is why we are saying now, why can't we now then go out and sell out this service, so that when they come in the way they are saying, I want to go and do a malaria test, you can also add, would you? Like after talking to them briefly about it, just as to, because what I have seen in the Gambia, the Gambian populace have a lot of trust in the health system, and most of the time when you introduce a service, most of them will take for it. So we are saying if they're not coming voluntarily, then we should offer them, because we believe that that's the only way we can get our first 95, which currently I think we're at 62%. So where are the other percentage? We still need to get them out so that we will treat them. So these are the strategies that we're using, and we are also looking at the communities that are left behind, like I said, the children, the adolescents, the men that are out there, and also the other women who are not accessing services, so that wherever you are, it should be a package integrated fully into the health system, and then they will be able to access it anywhere, of course with consent. If they do not want to test also, they decline, we respect their views, but we would have already given the information, because our belief is that when we give you information in the first contact we had with you, even if you did not test at that, we are giving you information that will help you to make an informed decision and an informed choice in ensuring that you know the basic facts about HIV, and it could be an entry point for you to come back, whether to that health facility or another health facility to seek for services. So for us, it is important that we have interaction with the client and clear that doubts, because there are a lot of myths around HIV in the
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for coming on the program, at least sharing with us. Very interesting interaction here. Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate your coming, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, thank you. I hope you people will come and attend our grand luncheon tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
all invited.
I am pretty sure. I mean, we will. Yes. So viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll talk to the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service. We'll be talking to PRO Party Jiba, you know, attacks on the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service. So we'll be right back.
Vandalism.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
We're back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Masuri Balde. We have an insert to play first before we engage the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service PRO. We'll take a look at the insert. I mean, we know the Gambians are currently in Mecca, performing, one of the pillars of Islam. So we did a recording and we want to show the general public that recording.
Assalamu alaikum. Man la Yamar Jaaju liggéey QCell pour nuyu mbokki QCell jiital si sun CEO Alhaji Mohamed Dia ak jabaram ak njabootam ba ma sant yàlla jël si yonent maa ngi nii Medina sun joni bi doore ko Banjul ba aksi Medina alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin masha Allah amuñ ci benn jafe-jafe ba dugga si Medina fii ñëw si sun hôtel dal ak jàmm ak salaam fu leen toll rek leen di wax amin di ñu ngi leen di ñaanal fàtte wuñ leen ci benn boor lii de mbégte la ak bànneex tey ñu ngay ñaan yàlla rek ne mboolem koo xam ne kii yaa ngi Gambia rek yal na la fi yàlla indi yal na bum la kumpa ci barke Nabil Mustafa fii de kéemtaan la moo fi ne surtout biñ demee siyaare ji ci jumaayee xafru yi yaram daw na sakatuma démb biñ demee ci xabru Seydina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foofu yaram daw na lool macha allah yëg naa lu ma musuta yëg ba ma juddoo ba tey jii mu doon loo xam ne lii xol bu sedd guy laa ci amee mbégte kontaante def fa ñaan pour réewi Gambie ak sumay mbokk ak sumay xarit may am rek jàmm ak sumay ñi may liggéeyal ñëpp nag di kontaan ci ñoom compagnie bi di Qcell yal na ko yàlla dolli yóbbu ca kanam fañ koy séntu mu nekk ca kaw a kaw a kaw
femma mo manki je domaroma mam mo manki jiyoma mo manki min feŋma mo manki fewo fen ndin mam mo manki je alhamdulillahi kabirin futata setulta alhamdulillahi ntata kata na farla sali farla salol ke kata kilala jamaŋa to me ye lon ko atel mu jamaŋa te men kummayata jamal mume beti na manke kabalati alhamdulillahi ntata ziyara falankele dulal to tata uhudu konko me ye lon ko alhamdulillahi atele mu kelwoto me ye lon ko kilala ja watolo me ye lon ko a kelwo dinin tabake bota woto tata masido kuba me ye lon ko wala mu dinkirati me ye lon ko atele misri foloti me ye lon ko kila sallallahu alaihi wasallam anata kana madina anno madina kolba welcome rolo me ye lon ka wata be baade muslimol be tan bare be moment ten la katamba be de sakon defan wala mon chairman o men kara Muhammad Jati anala muso men kara Aissatou Jati anin kiw group mol mume be nte mo be to fono la manyina na managing director men kara Aissatou Jawarati alhamdulillah afalam bo mo ken dolle kono la to be mansatalla da subhanahu wa ta'ala fo mansatalla si business o nyin alasat at chikandi.
Welcome back from that break live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We have Yamar, Uncle Yamar, kooku suñ Qcell senior driver la. You know, moom am na opportunity bi through the Q group moo mun a dem hajj alhamdulillah. Beneen uncle bi kooku tam Ajib Bank staff la. So you know ñoom yëpp through Q group lañ amee yoon so ñu ngi ñaanal gaay yal na yàlla nangu seen hajj ba pare nangu seen ñaan yëpp ba pare di ñaanal Q group bi mi nga xam ne moom moo facilité ba ñi mun a dem hajj yàlla fuñ ko nekk di génnee yàlla bu mu sa wow yàlla all the time mu buy rek di buy because su bëree rek ba pare dina njëriñ ñu bëri so ñu ngi ñaan yes
it's a good initiative.
Wow.
These are people who have been working for the company for a very long time and it's something that they deserve and we thank the Q group, of course. They've been thanking the Q group, and it's a very good initiative.
True.
It's a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime, and it will leave a very good memory,
Absolutely.
a very good impact on their spiritual lives, which is something we've seen right now.
Very important. Now let's move to the other segment of the program. We have the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service PRO here, Pate Jiba. My brother Pate, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's indeed, it's been a while.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Good. It's good to have you again.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's important for us to invite you so that we can talk about people vandalizing your trucks and at the same time attacking some of your personnel when you go to rescue. I mean, can you take us through some of the incidents?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I am grateful to being here this morning again. Actually join the fight against whatever it is to make sure that there is peace in this country, especially from our end. Firemanship, or we can call it firefighting, is not an easy job.
True.
It is a very, very difficult thing to do because where people are running away from is where we are finding ourselves in. And as a result of that, most of the time you see our people are caught by fire, they die or they sustain serious and severe injuries. The payment to a firefighter is not to get him bullied or to vandalize his equipment. It has been time, so many times today, we can call it multiple occurrences that firefighters have been subjected to this kind of harassment and then kind of intimidation that could lead to some unbearable circumstances. And this time around it happened again, and it happened in such a way that actually we felt we should definitely continue talking to the people as usual. It all happened when 2 of our fire engines were smashed actually, and causing some kind of damages to the vehicles, and probably with the intention of causing injury as well, which is going to be something that is unbearable. And that was the very reason why we called for this press briefing, so that at least many people will also understand. I know it cannot be attained within a day or a short period. It may take us sometimes, maybe ages, maybe the next generation will understand. But what is our obligation in the matter is to continue talking.
Do we know why this happened? Under what circumstance did it happen?
Yeah, there are multiple reasons to this. Probably we can cite few that we feel we can be definitely comfortable with. One of the reasons is the insufficient availability of fire engines. And the second reason is the fact that they have been used for some time and they are not new ones. So the chances of them getting broken or going through some mechanical damages or other technical problems are by far high. And when that happens, sometimes a little bit of a delay occurs. We don't make these vehicles. These vehicles are donated to us. And we could attribute one or two of these problems associated to the fact that people, get annoyed over the service delivery, But I would also quickly say that that is not the solution to the problem. That's not the solution to the problem, because when the vehicles are donated old, not new, it's because of a partnership that we create. We launch partnerships, and we have a lot of friends out there who supports us like any other institution. No man is an island. If you operate here, you can have this partnership or forge relationships with other institutions across the world. Whatever you cannot get, they can support it. Even the greatest economists forge relationships because they don't have everything at their disposal. So Gambia is not an exception. This is why we have this relation. And then it will be so embarrassing for the donors of these vehicles to realize that we are only good at destroying them, and it could cause some other problems.
Yes, you just talked about the fact that this is becoming a regular occurrence now. Is this a signal to the Gambia Fire Rescue Services, signal on a growing, lack of confidence, public confidence on the fire rescue services, given the recent occurrence of vandalism against the engines? I may not
believe or have that trust that it is lack of confidence. Nope, actually, there is confidence. If there was no confidence, the call would not have been made to help out. You cannot call somebody to support you when you don't have confidence in the individual. But these are just unfortunate circumstances that could come. Anytime, the person that is under a state of mental distress, no friend. He only sees his problem and he wants his problem to be solved. So the moment there is a delay in the appearance or the response, he or she wouldn't ask why. All he could do is, to use any means of whatever and, to be hurt that we don't like the response, or the response a bit delayed here and there, so we are reacting in this way. This is why I said that is not the right way. The right way is to probably find out what caused this, so that together we all have our hands on the same deck and we move this great nation. If you destroy the vehicle, the next minute the vehicle will not be at your disposal. So it's like one mistake cannot, be used to rectify a mistake.
Two wrongs don't
make a right.
Exactly. Is it? Can you tell us which area, does this happen? Like which area?
Yeah, it is predominantly around the GB. Yeah, this Greater Banjul area, predominantly around here. We hardly receive this kind of issues around the urban side, the rural side of the country. Most of the time is either within the KM here, Ibo Town, you name them. Actually, we realize this, and we are detecting most of this, but because of the workload, we have a lot of pressure behind. People need our service. And we are not there to sit down and try to mention places that we've got these problems, but these problems, we definitely want them to end, because otherwise, remember, fire is something, they used to call it, how do they used to call that proverb? Is it a good?
It's not a good.
Whatever. It's a good servant, but a bad master, something like that. And this is the bad master that we are dealing with. It serves us well under control, but when it is out of hand, it becomes a bad master. So we take care of it.
True.
How do we take care of it? We take care of it with blood and sweat. So just to understand that behind the scene, there is somebody also causing problems. They will go as far as cutting down the horses. When you cut down the horse, what do you expect? No water. When there is no water, you are suffocating the individual there and killing him probably. All that is done based on what? What I've seen in the matter is not lack of trust or confidence. Coming back to you,
it's over expectation. People have high expectations.
That is number one.
Growing demand.
Exactly.
And there's limited resources.
Exactly. And when we look at beyond that also, we've realized that most of them will do this because they have a personal interest. Yes, because when you do your interview, you do your investigation at the end of the scene, you will realize that the victims of the fire are not even the ones involved in this kind of vandalism. Those people are having problems and they only need support. Even if they will be, if the house will entirely burn down, but by seeing the fire service, it's an assurance that there is something happening. But the bystanders, or you may call them any name, sometimes they engage themselves in looting, especially if they feel that there is something that is a valuable thing in these premises. They will do every effort to make sure that they stop firefighting processes in order to get access to the scene and do what they want to do. So overall, I think this misbehavior could be attributed to several factors, but some of the factors are just what we've just mentioned. But I know there are so many other factors that are involved.
Yeah, so let's localize this. Comme PRO wax na ko fi mu ne, am na ñoo xam ne suñ demee fay safara gaa dañ leen dee attaque di vandalize seen trucks yi gis nañ fi ay nataal yoo xam ne toj nañ seen weer yi yeneen yi dóor nañ seen moto bi nootal ko def yu bëri lu laal moto toj weeram loolu su laalee nit mun na ko gaañ oo rey ko kon PRO bëggoon nañ nga leeral tuuti pour ñu mun a dégg.
waaw alhamdulilah li may wax mooy fire service dafa nekk place boo xam ne neexut a liggéey because demand bu fa nekk demand boo xam ne ku nekk soxla na suñu dimbal although kenn bëggut safar si seen environment bi waaye suñ demee ba realize ne there is fire here, there is no way that fire service leen they call nekkul fire rek la sax any kind of disaster am nañ si stake waaye luñ dee gis these days in the Gambia nekkut ne léegi rek la am waaye nekk na loo xam ne mu ngi persisting in such a way that fire su amee wala safar su amee suñu environment most of the time dañ dee nekk di vandalize suñu moto yi di leen yàq di jam ay xeer te ku jam xeer comme li nga wax fii nii xem bu dem ba yàq moto boobu su laalee doomi aadama daf lay jox problème boo xam ne xëy na mun na la gaañ wala mu rey la sax so loolu si gàttal mooy ñun yëpp ay Gambian ñu def suñu bes make sure ne lii ñu bàyyi ko fire service benn fire service lañ am fii nii te station boo gis dafa war a am at least up to 3 vehicles te moto yi den seer moto yi dem seer nekkuma di support or protect one agency or the other loolu mooy dëgg lu seer guys loo xam ne seer na what we could say is dafa expensive yaa ngi gis te lii moo tax ñu fooj relationship yooyu noonu mooy connect suñu boppa si institutions yoo xam ne ñu ngi bitim réew ñu mun ñu dimbale loo xam ne mënuñu koo am ñu dimbale ñu ñun tam ñu mun koo am waaye léegi ñoom suñ toogee ba dëgg ne ñun suñu liggéey mooy di jël moto yooyu noonu di leen yàq su yàggoo gars yi du ñu dimbale. so loolu dafa nekk loo xam ne dañ ko war a moytu seriously otherwise dañoo dugal suñu bopp si problème because ndimbale boobu noonu su demee ba léegi siis amatut loolu dafay isi beneen problème. so balaa loolu am nag ñu commencé waxtaan ak nit ñi te loolu moo taxoon ñu call press briefing just few days ago so that ñu mun a waxtaan ak. Gambians
so ana ñu ko defoon jàpp nañ leen wala jàppuñ leen ñu def loolu.
xam nga lii su amee li ñoo def dañ koy file ñu forward ko to the police.
the police and.
waaw gis nga si press briefing bi.
police bank
di public relations foog naa mooy deputy PR bi foofu I invited her pour mu mun ñu xelal mu wax nit ñi ne because ku nekk xam nga ñun yëpp ignorance of the law is no excuse. but we feel the police got into the law more than any other party because that's the tool they use boobu mooy seen tool di mun a def seen liggéey. ñun yëpp benn lañ police fire service immigration whatever ku nekk am na role in the other sector you know so su ku def lii nii ba pare suñu la téye police PRO bi wax na ko ba pare during our press briefing no need to repeat it it can lead to a two-year jail term and probably with kind of other finances that we will pay te ñun bëgguñ loolu noonu we don't want people to be subjected to that kind of thing luñ bëgg a mooy we are the welfare arm of the states. You cannot come to the fire service nga ne lii laa bëgg ñu ne la ne that's the receipt. te lii moo tax ñu ngi am help from outside te ñoom tam charge ñu dara. so dañ war a liggéey together so that we have a better nation.
Yes, you know, I want to ask this question. You know, we talked about the limited resources, you know, in the beginning, causing, you know, some delay in terms of response. But it appears that we are depending more on handouts from outside than, you know, government's investment in the Gambia Fire Rescue Services. And this is deepening the problem.
Yeah, I have said that actually, and that is the truth. Yeah, that is exactly what is happening. We are more of depending on external support, you know, especially when it comes to the equipment and appliances that we use. Most of the fire engines, if not all actually, are all donated to us to use. And that is resource
These
constraint.
are engines that have been used
for some time.
For some time until they didn't need them, and they, you know.
This is indeed the problem. One of the problems. Yeah. So that is it.
So you know, if you look at it, the fire engines are expensive, but the cost of disaster fire can cost our country. It's by far more expensive than you know, a truck.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, fire truck. So
exactly. So finally, PRO, lo am pour wax gaay bala ñoo tagato.
Yeah, I just want to say we as Gambians are better than what we do to the fire service, because I'm talking on behalf of the fire department, what is recently happening. We don't have any place to fall back to. This is our nation. And the vandalism,
that should be solidarity. You know, we should support them.
Yeah, that is it. And a lot of other things that happen, you know, is not, you know, good enough to change the system or to change a situation that is taking place. You don't change a situation with a fist. You change it with intelligence.
Intelligence.
You know, you change it with, you know, discussion. You change it. We're not stopping anybody to walk to the fire station and ask one or two questions and then get enlightened. But one thing that makes us happy is the fact that we feel the future will be far greater than the present, because we are talking to the young ones. We go to schools and to so many other places and talk to them, because as the saying goes, it's difficult to teach old dogs new tricks. You know, those people who are high up there, teaching them about what to do is like they will say, okay, but they will never.
They won't, yeah.
So, but then the young ones are beginning to pick up, you know, the rhythm, and then I am sure the future will be by far greater than the present.
Thank you. Thank you very much, PRO Jiba, for coming on the program. And we'll keep sensitizing people on our platform here, even without you. let them support the fire rescue service. Let them not vandalize their trucks, because these trucks belongs to us.
They are the only one we have to fight the fire for us.
I'm telling you.
So
what about if you
fight them?
If you vandalize the truck today, and tomorrow, unfortunately, there is fire
in your house,
what
I
are
think
you going to do?
because of that, Bakau, will be affected.
In fact, because of that, Bakau is affected. Banjul is affected. These are two fire trucks from different regions. Banjul drive to KM when Bakau was sent to Kotu, because the vehicle in Kotu, as we speak, is having a major problem. Engineers are trying to fix it, but still the problem is persisting. And then we decided to send them to Kotu to fight the fire there. Once they leave for Kotu, there was fire in KM, around here, within the jurisdiction, I mean. And then there was nobody to fight that fire. We had to deploy Banjul. Banjul had to work. And then the law says that every region has its own catchment area. You don't have to drive beyond that region unless and until there is a problem that definitely you need to cross the region. So Banjul left the whole of Banjul and came to KM, to Kanifing here, to help Bakau, because Bakau was deployed to Kotu N. So you can see that kind of mobilizing resources. So there should be, expect some little bit of a delay. So probably this was the delay. When Banjul arrives, Banjul was torn. And when Bakau finished the assignment in Kotu, they had to rush back to find Banjul to support them, and Bakau was also stoned at the same time. So you see, we have double problems at the same time. All these vehicles went back to their respective jurisdiction with problems. Now, if you call them, like you said at the moment, who knows? We have to improvise. And then we are now worsening the problem. Instead of at least leaving the vehicles as they were, we've given them an impact. This impact could cause another great problem with the vehicles. And as a result, we will ground everything and we wouldn't have any life.
Exactly. So that's the problem. Yeah, so thank you very much, PRO.
Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, Mohamed Lamin Choi, for
also,
going through some of the stories with us and co-hosting the program. And I hope we'll do this again another day.
It's a pleasure to be here, on the same platform with VJ.
Thank you. Thank you very much. At this point, we'll say bye to all of you. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.